I'm Donna Bergener, and my son Todd is married to Tracy. If I were to think of one word to describe Judy, that word would be generous. I've always known how generous she is. When I first was around her, the reason was because we were going to pick out a wedding dress for Tracy, and she invited me to go along. And after we picked out the dress, she wondered if I would like to go to a bar and have a little a glass of champagne to celebrate. And I said, well, sure, that'd be fine. Well, we had a really good time. And 3 bottles later, we toasted everything you could think of to Todd and Tracy. Another time that I remember was Halloween, and we went to Fallon and did the corn maze. Do you guys remember that? Oh, it was so much fun. We kept getting lost, we kept losing each other, and then we'd finally find each other, and we didn't know how the heck to get out of that maze. And so we'd climb up this thing, and okay, now if we go down and go that way, and then turn left and then right, and then we'll be able to get out. And we'd go down, and first thing you knew, we were lost again. Well, it took us forever, but we did get out. And then she invited all of us to dinner at a restaurant in Fallon. And when it came time to pay, I was going to, chip in. No. She said, it's all taken care of. You don't have to pay anything. Oh, and that's what she also said about the champagne when I thought my purse I was going to pay. No, it's all taken care of. And so then at the restaurant, I said, well, let me help with the tip. No, it's all in there. It's all taken care of. She was just always so generous. And the last time that I was around Judy, we were celebrating Theron, my grandson over there, his graduation from high school. And it was at, the Coliseum. Don't turn that way. And then we went to the Atlantis. And I said, well, do you want me to go? Because, I wasn't really invited. Oh, of course, come on. And so we went, and she made sure everybody had everything they wanted. The kids, be sure you have, do you want another soft drink? Do you want this? Do you want that? And she just made sure everybody had a good time. And again, when it was time to pay, I got my purse out. No, it's all taken care of. It's all, you don't have to pay a penny. And so I said, let me help with the tip. No, it's in there. It's all taken care of. And so, anyway, one of the things that I'll always remember about her is how very, very generous she was. And she seemed like she loved doing it. She just really enjoyed doing it for people. And of course, another thing, and I'm sure all of you, whenever you think about Judy, you will think about her laugh. It was such a wonderful laugh. It came from clear down here, and you couldn't help but laugh with her when she laughed. It was such a contagious laugh. Anyway, I'll miss her. I know all of you will. But those are a couple of special things that I remember about her.
Anybody else want to try? Anybody? So I don't know if I introduced myself. I'm Mike Ginsburg. This is Tracy Bergener, her daughter, her son. Haven't figured that out.
I can do this without a few chairs. My name is Carolyn Lucas, and my husband Thomas and I were neighbors of Judy's in Fallon. And Denise and Bobby Turnbow are here. They're also her other neighbors. And Dave and Melody Kittle in Fallon. Right after we moved to our house next to Judy, my daughter was pregnant at the time, and Judy, not knowing her very well, got together and threw a huge baby shower for my girl. We must have had 50, 60 people show up, all of the daddy side, who was there for us, and they had friends and neighbors in the neighborhood, and she threw a blast of a party for everybody. And one other word for her is passionate. She's passionate about life and passionate about her dogs and her animals. And I will miss her. Didn't get to see her as often as I wanted, but when I did see her, we did have some really nice discussions about our kids and life. Thank you.
My name is Joanne and I taught with Judy at Reno High, and I just loved her dearly at Reno High School. She's just one sweet person to have on the faculty. I just wonder, how many of you have ever been coerced into getting a job from Judy? Hands are slow. Well, I inherited jackpot from Judy at one point, and he was quite the animal. Let me tell you, he was something else. But I would go after Judy retired, go to Fallon and visit with Judy there, and we were always on the hunt for the perfect restaurant in Fallon, which we were convinced we were never really going to find.
Not quite the capital.
Oh gosh, there's so many things that I could say that you've already said about Judy, how generous she was, and what a great laugh she had. Her passion for reading books, we'd always be able to talk books, and what books she had read, and what ones I've read, and exchange those ideas. Gosh, she was just a wonderful person to know, and I'll truly miss her. You just ended by saying that.
You don't have to use the microphone if you don't want to. If you just want to stand up and talk also, that's fine. So.
There we go. My name is Tim Lucas. I'm one of Judy's students from years ago. I graduated from Reno High School in 1980. So from 78 to 79, she touched my life. I was a debater for her. Was ultimately in 1980, 79, 80, I was the captain of the Reno High debate team. We were runners-up in the state champion in 79. Probably would have won in 80, but for some sidetracks I'll let some kind of high school people follow up on of why we didn't win that particular year. But then I went on and I was the West Point debate team captain when I graduated from there. So I went on, and I hadn't seen her for years, but she is somebody who truly, truly touched my life. And my friends are from here in the state, out of state, because those are little things that you touch somebody's life someplace, and you just carry it with you forever. And that's how the kind of person that she was. And she gave everything to us. And didn't really ask much at all from us, just that we could do our best, and we were pretty crazy high school young kids, and all I guess is you can live through it, you can do great things. You have to have the patience and the understanding, and to me, she truly touched my life, and I'm just glad I did. Thank you.
I'm Tom Hart, and I was his debate partner his last year when I was captain of the debate team in 1981. And Judy introduced me to debate, and it was a wonderful experience. And just to give you some idea of the kind of things that she had to deal with. I think she probably decided to go into working with animals after she got because it trained her very well to have to deal with irrational beings. We were probably less rational than the dogs, but probably the thing, the quality that I would say, and Tim already mentioned it, that probably best categorized Judy was her extraordinary patience, and her sense of humor also really helped a lot working with young men and women who didn't have terrific judgment. And one of the stories that he was referring to is we were debating together at the state debate championships. It was at Reno High School in 1981. And he was late. He was in ROTC and he was at Fort Ward and he didn't get back in time. And the rounds were starting and I didn't have a debate partner. So I decided that I would go ahead and pass somebody else off as Tim Lucas. Nobody else would notice. And we went into that first round. I found another kid who wasn't debating that round. He knew how to debate, but he wasn't debating that round. And we did the round, and we won. We beat the team that actually ended up winning the tournament. Because after they found out that my partner was not him, they were disqualified. And just one other small part of the story that lends a little emphasis to the lack of judgment that we had was the guy I pulled in was a kid named Jeff Beasley. And Jeff was probably like 1 or 2 or 3 black kids in the whole school. So our chances of getting away with this were about 0. And Judy came up to me afterwards and she said, you know, that was really clever what you did. If you had just sat that round out, you could have taken a loss that round. Tim would have come and you still would have been in the tournament. But, you know, we were very immature at the time. And maturity came later, but that extraordinary patience is really what she had. Her laughter served her very well. And I'm just pleased to be able to get together and remember her a little bit. It was because of her that I know these guys. I haven't seen this guy in like 30 years. 29 years.
Now's an appropriate time for
My name is Howard Copeland, and I was captain of the Reno High debate team in 1979. So you have 79, 80, 81. I debated with Dennis, and then I debated with Tim, and then Tim debated with Tom. So you have like this chain that goes on. What all of you probably, since we're so suave and sophisticated right now, really don't understand is what we were like at 15, 16, 17. And I would not want to be with me at that age. We were, without exception, well, except Tim, who everybody loved, incredibly obnoxious. Knew everything. No one liked it either. And we were just lousy people. And Judy patiently was able to be in a room with us and treat us like kind of adults who were moronic. We were smart kids, but we were just so stupid. And I remember Judy sometimes I would catch her, and she would just be in, when we were like talking or doing things, and she would like be in a corner, laughing, shaking her head. And we were like touching planets and getting away with stuff. And I really believe now that she knew everything. But she cut us some slack. In fact, she cut us a lot of slack. You know, another debate coach probably would have, well, except for Tim, which everybody liked, would have been out long before that. But Judy really touched our lives. She gave us limits to which were kind of observed, but we never did anything criminal. And she never reported us to the police. Well, except for burning down it was your fault and I got blamed for it. They liked you. One time Judy said to me, you know, you draw attention to yourself. And Tim gets away with so much more than me. Because he had short hair, and my hair was down to my shoulders. She goes, just try to be a little nicer to people. And I have tried. But she really touched all of us, and the fact that we loved the memories. All night long we were talking about the memories while we were singing rock.
Thanks, Howard. My name is Dennis Melford, and I was on the debate team. Had joined just before Judy became the coach. She had taken over from Jack Crippen. Are any of you former teachers? Were you from back in those days? Any of you? Okay. I am going to have to get your names because I don't recognize you. I'm sorry. Do you recognize me? That's probably a bad thing, right? That you remember me. But I've only seen Judy twice in the last 35 years, and they were both at debate. Both times were at debate tournaments. I went to judge. After leaving debate, you have this affection for the program that carries on, and I still like to get involved in the program. To help out. I coached a couple of years ago for a team down in Las Vegas. And I think, but Judy was, to me, I never really thanked her enough for what she did. I mean, we always forget to thank the people who pitch in and give their efforts, and so I'm really here to thank her belatedly for her work, which is as you've heard, not they're dealing with kids who are basically self-absorbed and all that, doing their own thing and don't care, that they might cause other people some frustrations. It's a tough task, and those of you who taught, well, thank you for doing that. It's kids that go through there. You understand that. But I remember Judy's laugh like it was just yesterday. As I say, I saw her a couple of times. Once since graduating high school, once it was at the Nationals tournament. I was judged in San Francisco in 1980 something. And then Stockton, she was judging at a tournament. I was coaching and judging and all that. And so, but it was like yesterday. She's still such a vivid memory for me, and was surprised. I thought she'd live forever. I was surprised to see that she had passed on in the newspaper, but I'm glad I could make it here to bid farewell. Thank you.
I'm starting Hannah from Fallon, Nevada, and I know the West Pointers here. So it's my Hannah. But what I really impressed me was how many times Judy had told me how she enjoyed her kids, not her own children. Oh, my kids would be just something like that. And of course, Judy and I became really good friends just the last year. She's been gone 7 years. I didn't get to know her till I taught her how to replay bridge, and she passed me. So anyway, we went together a lot the last year, and I really enjoyed her laugh. And we liked everything the same. We both have red tie overs. We both have a son named Michael. I have a grandson named Theron. The first year, a lot of things were alike. Except she liked white wine. I think that's what happened to her.
Let me back up just for a second. When she said that she loved her kids. Me and Tracy knew our place. And her kids, which were the high school kids. And I don't need to say this to anybody in this room. Her favorite thing was her animals. Her dogs, her horse, her goats. So we knew our place. So that wasn't disrespectful or anything. We knew him.
Well, I've known her since the beginning of college, and she had to be tolerant of you students because we didn't do some very smart things either. And a couple of them, well, Judy was very allergic to horses, and she loved horses above all else. Now, for some reason, she could ride a horse up at Tahoe, and it didn't bother her allergies. But she would come out to my place, and she loved riding enough, but she'd have to get a shower. Her eyes were almost swollen shut, but she hung in there and kept coming, and we had a great time. But we decided to have a party. Mind you, my families had parties, but I didn't. And Judy and I had this party, and she decided that every college student the males would bring something to drink, and that the women would bring something to eat. Well, do you realize, well, it all started off that off the back patio, a cow was calving and it grossed half the kids out. And then we finished off the evening with a Boda bag contest. Now, she swore she won because she missed 4 days of school afterwards. I swore that I won because I was still standing. So, but she did delight in her family and of course her animals and her students, and we loved the story about the substitution. She and I would laugh over that because I think that's great that you considered that he was the best debater, and that made it all worth it to her because you won as far as she was concerned. And then, of course, you got her grandkids, which couldn't have done anything better than that, because they are truly our benefits, too. But it's been a pleasure all these years. And when she came to Fallon, she said, called me up and said, Sonia, help me buy a house today. I hadn't heard from her in years. We went out and we looked, and she bought one of the houses. But she moved into a small community. I think she was meant to be a farmer. She ingratiated herself with everybody in the community so rapidly that she became a part of our community. And then I see a bunch of the bridge players here, and we did that together too. But she is sorely missed, and it's a pleasure to know your family and everything. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name's Kathy Green, and I did go to Reno High, but I know some of you guys. But I did not meet Judy that way. I met her with her first Rottweiler, not Jason, but Milton. You probably remember Milton. He was kind of a mess, but he was, like all Judy's dogs, just great. And because of her, I am now on my 4th and 5th Rottweiler. I spent a lot of time writing something, and I'll leave it with you guys, because I really miss her. And the sad thing was she moved, and I really never got to go out and visit her. And you know, life, sometimes we get so busy. So maybe we need to think about that and make sure not to miss some of the people in our lives that we would like to, see, and so we don't have to come to this and remember we haven't seen them for a while. But the last time I did see her was at a dog show, and she was showing ink at Bonanza and doing what she loved. I can't think of a better thing.
Hi, my name is Christiana, and I am a 1991 Reno High graduate, barely. But I wanted to just take a brief moment to say Judy was Miss V to me. And Miss V was a huge and continues to be a huge inspiration in my life. At Reno High, she helped me put together, I believe, what may have been the first drama club. I'm not really sure of that. And just because of all of her passion and love that she gave to me personally and to a lot of folks in the drama program at Reno High, my life continued to go on to where she is carried with me daily. Her inspiration to me currently affects thousands of students in the state of Nevada and beyond with applications that we do. And also, and again, I have to say, it's so much of her inspiration. It's a huge story, but I'll leave it at that. And I had the pleasure of even bringing in Theron into this movement we're making with students and teens and adults. And it continues to go forward, and she'll be right there with us.
But I would read you a little bit of the letter that I wrote to Todd and to Michael. When the life, if I can get through this, when the life of someone as vibrant as Judy Vasconcelos comes to an end, this is, we're going from the sublime to the ridiculous, or from the ridiculous to the sublime, something here. I feel not just saddened, but somehow empty. I am one of Judy's newer friends. Maybe I should get her here, so I can see everybody. We met for the first time 4.5 years ago at a Red Hat outing at Latin Farms. I had worn a purple silk blazer and was feeling uncomfortable because the sleeves were a little too long. When I voiced this discomfort to Judy, who was sitting next to me, she said, "Why don't you just turn up the cuffs a notch?" That remains imprinted on my memory. Solutions to the most prickly of conundrums often turn out to be very easy. I remember stories she used to tell me about using baby food in carrot cake and borscht. You remember those things? I thought you would. Very early on, I found in Judy a kindred spirit. Both of us were college graduates and products of the Greek community. I am Phi Beta Phi and she was Gamma Phi Beta. There's another one of her sorority sisters here, several of her sorority sisters here today. As holders of master's degrees in language arts, we shared a special bond. We also shared a taste for Jewish men. Their father is Jewish. My late partner of 30 years was Jewish. And so is my husband, Ron. Although I was not one of her bridge playing friends, I gave up on bridge years ago, nor was I a canine aficionado. I gravitate more toward cats. We shared a taste for cinema, theater, art, and literature. We could spend 2 hours talking over lunch and never know where the time had gone. I'm sure you have friends like that. I will always treasure the one time we drove to Reno and went to a movie and then had lunch afterwards. I wish there had been more of them than I could remember. 2 things about Judy that I came to admire and respect, and these have already been mentioned today: her good-heartedness and generosity. I recall our mutual housekeeper, Patricia. Where's Patricia? Patricia's back there, yes. Telling me how Judy always recommended her to her friends, supplied her with a turkey at Thanksgiving, and provided her with extra work opportunities. In AAUW, Judy would always sign up to host the bridge, monthly bridge, not for just 1 month, but for 2. So you can imagine what a gap that has left in our bridge club. And for the past 2 years,
our AAUW planning meetings. We always have a planning meeting at the end of the year. And included lunch, always with champagne, at her home. She once said to me, she said, I think we should end the club year with a celebration. That's what life was for her, an endless series of ceremonies and celebrations. As for my part, on one birthday, she gave me a pair of Laurel Birch socks, little kitty designs. When Christmas came, it was a pair of gloves. And that tradition continued up until her passing. You know, it's, in fact, the first thing on my list to do after my husband and I returned from a Caribbean Panama Canal cruise on April 7th was to call her and make a date for a belated birthday lunch and celebration. A few friends in my memory have gifted me on birthdays, and I'm almost done. This is long-winded. In my mind's eye, I can still see Judy's face. I still, on occasion, and this happens to me with people that I love and care about, I still hear her voice in my head. I miss her. It is difficult for me to accept that she's gone. Sometimes I feel a little angry that she left me behind. Judy was a lovely and rare gem. I treasure the time she was in my life, even though that time was far too brief.
I don't know if any of you know who I am. I have no clue. I've known Judy since she was before high school. Long time. And we used to go horseback riding together. My name is MJ Cyril. We lived in Reno and Carson City for many years, and then finally moved to Montana. Came back, and then we're now in Fallon. And Judy and I went everywhere together in high school when I was around. I used to come up from Sacramento, stay with my aunt. They didn't know how to make drive. And when she graduated from high school, she was given a Ford convertible to drive around in. She loved it, except she wouldn't drive it. So every time we ever went anywhere, I had to drive the car. And I've often wondered about that, but you know, she just didn't like to drive that car for some reason. We'd go up to Tahoe and go swimming or something. Well, I'll go if you'll drive. And I said, well, okay. You know, so there we go. And then I went to university. I came out and went to the University of Nevada. And the year after I started, she started. And so I badgered her to join a sorority, and I hoped she would join mine. I was a Gamma Phi also. And she did. So that was a good thing. And we palled around all during those years. And then we all finally got married. And my husband and I have been married now for 56 years. Long time. But once we all got married, we started up this gourmet club. And we got together once a month, and everybody fixed a meal, special meal, and we played bridge. That was our thing. And that was a lot of good times. A lot of funny times too. I won't go into all of them, but anyway. One time we went to Lake Tahoe to have a weekend with some friends who have home up there. And they decided to do a pig roast. So we got the pig, Judy and I and a couple other gals got the pig all ready to go. And we took it down to the Kingsbury bakery, because there were no ovens in the house to hold the whole pig. So we get the pig down there okay, and they call and say it's ready, so we all run down there to get it. And there's, at this house up there at the lake, there's like 3,000 stairs, you know, from the top to the bottom. So So here we are with this pig on this board, trying to negotiate these stairs, and about halfway down, so we didn't tell too many people. Because after all, it was a pig. Oh dear, I don't know, we used to have such great times, and I just reading her, I was just so floored to hear that she was gone. It was hard to believe it. We kind of lost touch a little bit, although not completely, when we moved to Montana, because we come back down one time to visit, and she was going to come up there, but never made it. And then when I got to Fallon, I was just, first thing I did was call her and say, here are we? I'm here in Fallon now. And we got together and had lunch, and we were going to have another lunch the next week. So we will miss her, and we've left knowing her. I'm so sorry.
Hi, my name is Maya. I was class of '92 at Reno High. I was not the debate captain. However, I brought home a lot of hardware.
A girl debater.
That's right, and a damn good one. I learned from Miss B. What are you going to say?
Don't start, I always...
Yeah, my husband can attest. My first experience with Miss V, of course, as we all knew her, I was always in love with drama from the time I was, and he can attest to that as well, from the time I was a little girl. So I obviously went right into drama with her as my teacher. However, my inherent arguing ability led her to persuade me to join the debate team, which was one of the best experiences of my life, and it helped form me as a person all the way through college, and even now to argue with this poor man that's married to me. But Miss V was she was that teacher. And when I say that teacher, everyone in here probably was lucky enough to have one person that was that teacher. And you know the one I mean. It's the one teacher you never forget, you continue to think about, you hold in your heart. Her laugh, every time one of you mentions her laugh, I start crying. So I've got my tissue here, but it's true. And a good friend of mine, Chad Kennedy, who is also a former student of hers, mentioned her laugh the other day in some Facebook messages, and it really brought it home for every one of us how, like someone up here said, you don't forget the sound. When someone means a lot to you, you can hear them in your head. Do you know what I mean? And I will never, never forget that laugh. It was so unique, and it was so sincere, and so different. And I would love sitting in the back of the theater when we would be running things for her, whether it was debate or drama, and you would just hear it come out of nowhere. And the entire theater would echo with this kind of laugh, you know, and it was just so fabulous and so wonderful. And I just wanted, on behalf of all of Miss V's former students, to say to you guys, thank you for sharing your mom. Because I know that's got to be hard sometimes, because she was I remember a lot of late nights being at Reno High with her. And I know that for a lot of us, she was a surrogate mother. She was kind of the stern mother I didn't have. I had a very mother who blew a lot of sunshine. She's wonderful, but you know, Miss V didn't let me BS her. She did not let me get away with that. And she was probably the first person besides my dad to really make me toe the line. And so I know any of you who have her as a student, you know she made you toe the line. And I will never, never forget her for that. She's in my heart, she's in all of our hearts. I know she's in every one of your hearts. And it's nice to see how that even, you know, before there was our class, there were all these other classes. You know, you always think you're the only one, right? That's my Miss V. So it's wonderful to hear all of your stories. And again, I just want to thank the family for sharing your mom. We love her.
I'm Theron Bergener. I'm one of Judy's grandchildren, and I'm going to tell a little story. I'm going to start at the beginning with her house on, was it Wheeler?
Yes.
Yes, the brick house on Wheeler with the basement, the dark, scary basement. when I was at Grandma's house, I always used to sneak down there and see as far as I could get inside that basement, because she always used to say there was a ghost in her basement. So I would always try and find that ghost, and I loved that house. It was so tiny and just, it was her all the way, the decorations and everything, and I loved that house. It was a beautiful house. When she moved to Fallon, it got a little harder to go out and see her, but we'd see her for weeks at a time. So we'd go out there, spend the weekend at Grandma's house, and come back, and it was a nice little sanctuary for us, and I really liked it out there. And I remember her 75th birthday, I had the grand idea to go surprise Grandma out at her house at 12 o'clock at night with a cake and a birthday present. And as you all know, she has vicious attack dogs up the street. So Mom ruined the plan for me because I'm going to give Grandma a heart attack. But lo and behold, I get there at 12 o'clock because I just got off work. I had time to go there. I bought her a cake, brought that into the house, and there she was. And we sat and had a lovely talk for a couple hours till 3 in the morning, which is way past her bedtime. And that's the last time that I saw her, and I'm really glad that I had that chance with her to see her and be with her. And I still see her. I see her in all of you guys, and I know that she lives on somewhere deep inside all of you. So, thank you.
I'm Marie Frostbaker, and I met Judy. I remember Judy in high school. We went to high school together. I was a year older. And our bond was animals and horses. We started out, we competed horseback and in dogs together. And Sonia was mentioning her allergies. She came out to the ranch one morning, and we saddled up. Tracy, I don't think, was born. Michael was a little guy. She got a babysitter. And as we were saddling up, no, actually, she just was putting the halter on the horse, and she breaks out in the reddest welts, biggest, reddest welts I have ever seen, immediately. So I'm thinking, oh dear, and she starts plugging up. Judy, are you okay? Yeah, I am. She blows her nose and her eyes are watering. I love this horse, I'm going to saddle it tonight. And I'm thinking, oh, I hope I don't have to call the ambulance. But anyway, fortunately, I said, I'll finish saddling your horse, and you get over there and blow your nose, and then we'll get you on and we'll ride. And we managed to do that. And I never knew people could be so allergic, so fast, as Judy Vasconcelos. Judy's dad was wonderful, Lou. Judy was very much like her father. He was a very generous, kind, friendly man. If I have, in my world of knowing Judy, she was a competitor. And she liked to she was a perfectionist. And that's where we kind of bonded together with the dogs. And I always said, well, Judy, when I show my dog, I want a perfect score. And she says, oh, okay. She says, I'll take a point off that I want a high score too. And she always had that passion, and she wanted to do very well, and I'm sure it flows over into the teaching and what she expected of you guys and you students. And she didn't expect that in her good friends, though. She accepted them for what they were, and I think that's one reason why we all enjoyed her friendship. So, fortunately, Judy was having trouble training ink. and she called me to help her. So we kind of got back together again, and we're working our dogs together, and really enjoyed it. So I'm seeing Judy looking down on us, smiling and chuckling, and it's a happy thing. And I'm going to ask Judy, for all of us, to send us a rainbow, Judy, and let us know you're happy and things, and you're okay and well up there and safe, because we love you.
There was a tree planting ceremony in Fallon a few weeks ago, and they asked us to say a couple words. And I said, she doesn't teach the dogs, she teaches the people. And she's always taught people. And I'm truly going to miss her.
Hi, I'm Judy Mendez. I pretty much took care of Judy's house and anything that went wrong. I pretty much, since I was a freshman, held like a 24-hour service for her. And best story I remember is the second time we cleaned the fish tank. Most teenagers in high school would love to sleep in on a Saturday. I had to be out there at 7 in the morning cleaning that thing. And we started cleaning it, and it came time to take out the water. And she forgot to pull out the plug. So here I am cleaning it, and next thing you know, I feel my feet wet. And she's in the kitchen. The whole area flooded. We were down on our knees, mopping, drying the thing off for at least 4 hours. And at the end, one thing she said was, things happen. And you know, throughout the years, you know, I graduated, I remember as a freshman, we had a lot of things going wrong, you know, at our place. Sprinkler doesn't work, I gotta fix that. And there's things I didn't know how to fix, but I still managed to get the dough for her. And she would appreciate anything you would do for her. It could be changing a light bulb, and she would love the fact that you're willing to help her out. As a teenager, I really didn't want to wake up on my weekends, you know? I want to sleep in, especially after a football game. Offers up, show up to your house all limping. What happened to you? Well, check this out. She'd bring out, you know, something to put on it, put some ice on it, just bait me. And, you know, I moved to Winnemucca after I graduated, well, a year after I graduated. And she was a little bummed, but I told her I would come back every weekend to see her. And I tried my best to come every weekend. And 3 weekends before this happened, I went in there late and he asked me, if something were to happen to me, would you be willing to take my dog? And when I looked at him, I remembered him chewing on the edges of my grandfather's clock. I grabbed him by the chokecollar, telling me, you're rude. Man, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'll take the dog. And to this day, I'll be feeding him off, you know, the counter or something. I'm like, shame on me, I know you want to do that. And I just pray she doesn't show up in the middle of the night, pull my legs and say, hey, you're doing wrong, don't tell me good. And she has a cemetery at her house full of rabbits. But every other weekend, do you want to come and dig a hole and hide that rabbit? Pick up the rabbit, I'm like, where's the other half? Where's that? So, Judy meant a lot to my family. My mom, when I was a freshman, she started cleaning her house, and she was a caretaker. And, you know, something happened, we were always there. And, you know, after high school, most kids like to go to college, and I didn't feel like going.
I sat down one night and asked her, Judy, I don't know what to do, guys. I need to find a career. And she's like, you've been doing what you're good at for the past 5 years. You know, maintaining things, knowing how to work with electricity and all this. And about a month after we had that talk, my cousin called me from Nemauk, and she's like, hey, there's an apprentice opportunity up here. So that's when I moved up there and became an electrician up there. And after she found that out, we were changing receptacles. You gotta be straight, and, you know, I told her one time, I'm gonna join the military. She's like, you're out of your mind. She's like, you don't want to run around getting shot at. I'm like, yeah, you're right, I don't. And, you know, she would always talk about Tracy and Michael. And I would always hear, oh yeah, Michael's a triathlon. And I'm like, I don't know how you can do that. I play football, and by the, I'm done. By third quarter, I'm done. And she would always talk good about you guys. And, she'd be happy to see us all together right now, remembering the good times. She always found a way, even if the day was terrible, she would always find a way to turn around and make it happy. And if it was from going out to have lunch every time I came down, to when I'd be over her house at 8 o'clock on a Saturday, she would always just be there with a smile, and give you, just all she got. And that's how I knew Judy. She was always a go-getter, and I never tried arguing with her because I would always lose. I would always get signals mixed up with her dogs and beating and stuff. She's like, nope, this is how you do it. All right. And it was nice seeing every weekend I would come, she'd have something new to think. Because when she first got him, I saw it. And I'm like, Queensland, oh boy, cattle dog. He's gonna like chasing things around, he's gonna like fighting things. And she got that dog trained, and when I see him out running around, I'm like, dang, she was quite a person because my girlfriend, her family has a bunch of dogs, and I want to kick every single one of them. But he is just amazing. And they also pride and joy, because every weekend it'd be, ain't this, ain't that. Hey, look, Ain't knows how to dance. She put up the stereo on and started dancing. And there I am, trying to do what I had to do, watching her. And just, she was an awesome lady, and it was a pleasure to have her in my life for as long as she was. So, thank you.
I'm Alex Mendez. You need to see him. He's my brother. Talking about the fish tank, he never did it all the time. I started to learn how to do it. The first time I ever did it, I was actually really happy Judy wasn't there. It was actually a big mess. The second time I did it, I was getting things down. And I was like, well, 8th grade, no Saturday for me. Gotta wake up early as well. When I got there, she would always give me a big hug. When I started doing the fish tank, she would talk to me all the time. We'd have good discussions and everything. And the funniest part was when I was pouring the water back in, the owner never taught me what to do there. And I sort of sprayed the water all over the place. And I looked around and I hope she didn't see me. Of course, she was right behind me. Debbie wasn't that smart at the beginning too. She got a towel and started cleaning it, and she's like, just remember this, we all make mistakes. I never really met my grandma when I was a little kid, because she died early. And Judy took that place for me. I loved her a lot. And every single time we would go to her house, she'd have little jobs for me. Just like Joni started out with little jobs. She had this cat that roamed around with the goats. And she's like, Alex, go get the tray and bring it to me. She would feed the cat dog food. She was such a loving person. I learned a lot of experience from her, just a lot. She was a wonderful person for me, and I'm very glad that she was part of my life. And from now on and the rest of my life, I'm going to remember her and everything she taught me. Thank you.
I want to thank everybody for coming today. It's a tough day, but I appreciate it. We still have some desserts back here. And I don't know if anybody noticed this. All the white wine's here. So feel free